Everyone, I'm Khushbu Nathalia and thank you for coming back to my channel. In today's video, we'll be covering the remaining jurist of historical school. So before I begin with the next jurist, let me just give you a brief of what we did in the last video. I told you that historical school focus on the importance of customs in lawmaking process, and it talks about the relationship of society with law. Further, it is of the view that the law should keep pace with the changing needs of the society, and it is a evolutionary process, a biological process. Moving on with the next jurist, the first one in the list is Puchta, who was a disciple of Sévigné. He basically gave a more logical view to Sévigné's theory, and he said that in a society we have two will, an individual will and the general will. So whenever there is a conflict between the two, then the states come into picture to resolve the conflict. So in a way it says that neither the state nor the people are the source of law, but law comes into picture as a result of conflict between the general and the individual will of the people. And he says when the state has to regulate the human conduct to implement the general will over the individual interest, so that there is harmony and peace in the society. So as long as there is no conflict, then there is no role of state. But as soon as there is a conflict between the general will and the individual interest, then the state come into picture and it regulate and resolve the matter so that there is harmony and justice can be prevailed. The next in the list, the final jurist for historical school, is Henry Manet. Henry Manet basically is also labeled as social Darwinist. It might be asked as an MCQ for the ones who are preparing for any competitive exam. So that's the reason I especially mentioned the same. He talks about 4 stages of development, wherein the first stage deals with the law which is made by the king. Well, when I started with my historical school, I said and I told that the law was not codified. So initially when they were ruler, the kings who used to rule, they were the one who used to make laws and people used to follow them. Later on, as the time passed by, the emphasis shifted to customary laws, the practices, the beliefs, which turned out to be termed as usage, and finally it took the shape of customs. And the customs were the one which used to govern the people, the acts of the people. Then these customs, they were practiced and by the priest, and the priests were treated to be someone who has all the religious knowledge related to them, and then they were the administrators of the customs. Later, finally, we came to the stage of codification, wherein all the practices and laws, all the practices prevailing at the time, they were codified into a set of rules, laws for the governance of the people. So these are the 4 stages of development as listed down by Henry Manet. Further, he talked about static and progressive society. By static society, he meant that when a society stopped itself after the codification process, the 4 stages which I said, when the society stops at the 4th stage, it is called the static society. It is not changing. But when it further develops after the codification, either through the way of legislations or through equity process or legal friction, when there is a development after codification, then that society is termed as a progressive society. Why? Because it has not stopped its process of development after the codification. Even when the codification comes into picture, still the law keeps on developing, keeps on progressing with the change of the society. So this is what he meant by progressive society, and he came with the idea of static and progressive society, for which he lists down 3 methods which I just said, which is legal fiction, legislation and equity. So Henry Manet said, I've just quoted his saying, he said that the movement of progressive society has had to be in a movement from static to contract. So when I talk about contract, the major criticism was then when he emphasized on this status to contract, he in a way neglected all the matrimonial laws, all the personal laws. Why? Because those laws, if you talk about Hindu marriage, it is not a contract. It is not treated as a contract. So this particular wisdom of terms of him in a way refuse or neglects that aspects of law. So that was one of the major criticism of his theory. Further, I have also listed down few of his important books which might be asked in the competitive exam. So this is for your information, FYI. Well, before I conclude, let me just give you a quick brief about the difference between analytical and historical school. Analytical school talks about the relationship between the state and the law and lay emphasis on command, sanction and sovereign. Whereas the historical school talks about the relationship between society and law and give emphasis to custom, practices and usage, and talks about the development or the and treat law as a biological or evolutionary process. That is, as the society change, the law should also keep pace with the changing needs of the society. So that's all for historical school today. If you have any queries, place them in the comment section below, and thank you for watching the video. Bye bye.